Hey. I know it's not actually my turn, but I wanted to say one more thing.
I love it. You have to do that to get it in the fucking.
I brought up one thing. I brought up one thing about eggs. Have you ever had 40 eggs? I want to date nobody that hasn't had 40 eggs. It makes you hallucinate.
Chef Dyke Michael's making food, and he's making comedy too. Thaddeus J. McKee is co-hosting with the guy I mentioned previously. Sauce Boss Zach's on the 1 to 2, so good he calls them 2s and 3s. And as always, there's a guest who is sure to please on Harder Brunch.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels. With me, as always, my co-host, Thaddeus J. McKee.
Slappy Pappy Wamp Wamp.
On the 1s and 2s, the Wheels of Steel, the Sauce Boss of Indianapolis, and the Last Woke Dragon. Give it up for Sauce Boss Zach.
Hey there.
And a very special returning champion with us in studio. We're not exactly sure how many times.
Yeah.
Chef Alan Sternberg, welcome back to the program.
Hello.
The jacket is being made.
The jacket is being made.
I hope it's a fishnet jacket.
Well, dang it. Spoiler alerts.
That's
Fishnet fall?
That-
I'm ready. I'll be there. Yeah.
That's a very good point. Have you participated at all in Fishnet summer yet?
No. I have some pants with some holes in them, but that's the best I got.
Hey,
They probably don't appreciate fishnets in the kitchen very much. I don't think that's
Well, hairnets.
I just wear a hat.
Oh, okay.
Because hairnets suck. They're really bad.
Well,
No.
not as fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Fishnets are like a full body hairnet though. I never thought about that.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I'll subscribe to that, yeah.
So if you are a chef, you're already in the fishnet game. It's the cousin of fishnets.
That is true.
Okay.
You just haven't gone far enough with it.
Correct.
Haven't taken it to
The body.
the body.
To the lower body.
Have you ever thought about doing a fishnet bodysuit?
Yes. All my friends said no.
Because of the nipples?
The nipples have become a problem for.
Yeah.
Well, I work in a school, and they were like, "This is
It's a no nipple zone.
yeah, it's a no nipple." I didn't know that.
I
They
mean,
didn't say that.
all schools should be a no nipple zone. I feel like.
Is there rules? Is it in the rules?
No, it
All right,
was.
so it's a gray, maybe brown,
Yeah.
maybe reddish pink area,
It's
depending on.
depending on your skin
Yeah,
color
yeah.
or what you've dyed your nipples.
Wait, is that a thing?
No.
It's going to be.
Is it part of Fishnet summer?
No, it's part of Fishnet Fall. Is what the fuck it is.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to the nipple dyeing in good time. I do, at the beginning of the episode, I always forget to do this. Guys, we got some amazing merch at harderbrunch.com. Go check it out. Zach has put together a lovely website for us. You can get your tropical shirts. And then we also have the Hollandaise Confused t-shirt available.
Yeah.
Check that out. And I did want to start off with a shame.
Dang, this early.
Shame. Shame.
Now, if you shame yourself in front of us again.
No.
Oh.
We won't be shaming myself.
Oh.
This shame goes out to Sauce Boss Zach, who did not put up last week's Patreon.
Oh.
That was on me.
So I do have some good news though. If you're a Patreon subscriber, we're gonna put up the Mo Mitchell Patreon this week.
It was so good.
Really fun.
It was seriously funny.
Really fun time with comedian Mo Mitchell. And then also this week, bonus content for everyone, not just Patreon subscribers. We have our crossover episode with Nerd News, and we'll throw up a link to that or something. But we have double the content for you to make up for last week, so I'm very excited about that.
Or the same amount of content that you would have got anyways.
Well, I mean, it is, tomato.
I'm not gonna lie. I refreshed my Patreon a couple times looking for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I actually have my commute is just long enough where I have enough podcasts that it really fills my week every day. So not having that show
Kind of messed it up.
Yeah, Zach, fuck you.
Yeah.
No,
Big shame.
Yeah, I definitely completely forgot about it until today when Dyke's like, hey, how about maybe we post that that episode we recorded last week?
People were hitting up my phone and like asking me questions about this episode. I was like, I think it's up.
Just hundreds of messages.
Hundreds. And they because a lot of them get together. So like we have less Patreon subscribers, but like more listeners.
Yeah, when the Hardys flock to you.
Yeah, they have the listening parties, and they're like, "Hey, you just ruined our listening party."
The Hardy party.
The Hardys.
It's absolutely not. It's brunch. I will not take this mutiny.
I like the Hardy party.
The Hardy party.
Yeah, I'll weigh in.
We have a Hardy party with all of our Hardys.
They literally spell it like the fast food chain Hardee's. It's so confusing.
That's fun.
We could do it slightly different.
I'll say 2 E's are funner than 1 Y.
Yeah, they are. We could do EY.
Hate it so much. Alan, you are a Patreon subscriber.
I am.
Can you tell our audience, because you listen to both, right? The Harder Brunch podcast and then the Patreon. What would you say, how are they different from each other?
A lot more impressions, for sure, on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Or guess. I guess it's a sub guess. It's a return, very specific returning sub guess.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe even co-host at this point.
And it's much more of a, would you say it's much more of a comedy show?
Yeah, for sure.
Or attempting to be a comedy show.
It is the show that will make, if this makes you cringe a little bit, the Harder or the Patreon will get you every time.
All right, we gotta scrub that out.
Yeah.
If this makes you, we'll put laugh over cringe.
Yeah.
We will use the part where he said that he missed it when it didn't come out this week.
No, like I really do quite enjoy it, and just like having that extra wall in between everything, and like that way you guys don't get
you feel like you're in a cool
trouble
club.
on the social medias. Like, it's worth the $3.
Well, Zach has a lot of ideas that we prefer he only says behind a paywall, you know.
Where's the puppets? I haven't seen the puppets.
Oh, they're over there.
Right.
They're still in the corner.
They're back there. You can get them out if you want.
They gotta stay way the fuck over there.
Yeah, that's a smart idea. It feels weird because you know so much about the after brunch. I feel like the after brunch is going to collide with the actual Harder Brunch. So people that listen to Harder Brunch are going to be like, wait, what are they talking about? And you have to get the Patreon subscription to actually find that. But I feel like today, too, we're just going to have a mesh.
Well, yeah, well, typically...
A fishnet.
A fish mess. Nope.
A hairnet.
So typically Harder Brunch is an interview show, and we've interviewed you multiple times.
Yeah, I've been around for a minute.
You can go back in the, I guess, what we call them now, the audio archives. And you've cooked for us multiple times, too.
Yeah, I've actually only eaten 8. I don't know which one it is. Once.
He's co-host. He was the first pick for a co-host when you were out of town.
First draft.
That was after. No, I did. I don't remember. I've been on a bunch of times.
I will be honest. The guest that day had too much to drink. I'm not going to tell you what episode. You were originally going to be the first, and then I'm going to just say his name, Seth. No one knows him. He's a writer for Indie Monthly and all the stuff he interviews. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he
has a drinking problem.
I'm not going to say that.
I feel like you did.
I didn't say that. Did not say it. But I will wink if that's what I was intending to do.
So check out the YouTube and see if that wink happened. Oh, shit.
I can't blink the whole time. So, yeah, he took over that spot.
Yeah.
And then, But, yeah, you're the co-host.
Yeah.
So Alan, I've seen you on your Instagram really hitting the skate park hard on your bike.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I'm equally impressed by the videos that you put up, and also I always get scared. Like, he's gonna break his arm, he's gonna break something.
Yeah.
I'm at the age where I rode BMX for a long time. I got decently good. I wouldn't say good. But then cooking took over my life, and I quit riding for about 10 years. Beginning of the pandemic, I didn't have anything to do. My daughter had a skateboard. She's out in the street one day, and she wanted to skate around the neighborhood. My bike, the same bike that had been there for 10 years that I did not touch except for moving.
Yeah.
I got on and like literally the second I stepped on it, I was like, oh shit, I've been missing this out of my life. So yeah, I try to make time for it. It reminds me that I'm more than just a chef. Like for a lot of my career, so much of it was, food is everything. I'm a chef. Like, it's about hospitality. It's about progression. It's about growth. It's about all these things. And then when the first time I stepped back on my bike, it was like, oh, I have more agency than this. And like, there's more to me as a human being than this. So like, it's been something I've kept up with. And it's weird now because like I ride bikes with a kid that's 14 and my daughter's 14. And it's like, fuck, I can legitimately be your parent. Like, not like in a joking way. It's like, I literally have a 14-year-old. And I'm just trying to relearn stuff that I could do in my 20s just fine. Yeah. I put lots of pads on because like I can't afford to get hurt.
Yeah, that's what I was like legitimately worried about. Like if you break your arm, you can't cook.
That's why you learn to cook left-handed too.
And I don't mean this as a joke, but is there a famous one-armed chef? Excuse me.
There has to be.
Chef Leppard.
That's a applause.
That's a applause.
Chef Leppard. Doggone is that?
Yes, I cannot think of his name. I think he was or he is at St. Baines in England. He definitely has a fake hand for sure. And last I knew, they were a 2 Michelin star restaurant. Like it's pretty legit. But like
that's awesome.
Being a chef is so much more than just cooking. Like it's leading a brigade. It's holding standards. It's not even just like leading a brigade, but like just staff. It's managing people. It's managing product. It's managing numbers. Like it's so much more than just actually shaking pans or cutting vegetables. Mm-hmm. Like at a certain point, you really don't do a whole lot of that. Mm-hmm. It's usually about the time like you can afford really good knives is kind of what I figured out.
Okay.
So like by the time you can actually afford like the good utensils,
you don't use tools, them anymore.
Yeah, not at all. So like there's knives in my bag I haven't touched in months, other than when I'm like, oh, I have this knife. but yeah, I use like a bread knife and a chef knife most of the time, and everything else is not so much.
That's for me, I think, with the realization that came way too late and after way too much student loan money. That was that like, oh, like I'm people can fit in and do a bunch of different stuff, but like I feel like to make X amount of money, you do less and less cooking, right? And I was just like, oh, I don't want to be a chef. I want to be a cook. Like I love just cooking, and all of the other stuff is just background noise that I'm just like, I understand you have to do it. Someone has to do it. But I was like, oh, I don't want to be that person. Like I just want to like cook with the food.
I think I actually glossed over probably the most important role of a chef, and like that's to be a teacher. So like a lot of times in different restaurants that I've been in, like I'll use Cerulean as an example because I think that's where most people got to at least have an idea of what I was doing. A lot of it was, I was coming up with stuff. I was working through dishes. Then I would teach other people how to do it. And like inevitably the best thing that happened, like as cooks were with me longer and longer, like you would taste a dish on day one, it would taste a certain way. They would make it and it wouldn't be quite right. But like in a couple weeks, month, 2 months, like that dish was way better when they were making it because they actually had the repetition of doing it constantly. And like, that's where you actually started to see the growth of the staff. And they take on more and more responsibility because the more you know, like the more you can handle, and like the more pride you take in it. Like they do their own little things that like actually makes it their own. And then it's their station. So when they're training the next guy, it's not just like there's an ownership amongst all of us. So like if someone new comes in and they're not holding the standard but everybody else is, then like when they're training somebody, like they're going to make sure they do it right because they've all worked so hard to make sure they achieve that. So like it's becoming a teacher, but it's also teaching other people to teach. So that way it kind of trickles down. Like I don't think trickle down works in every way, but economics.
But
in a kitchen, like if if the structure is there, if the regiment and the care is there, then it definitely does. So
now I have to ask you, like, and this isn't a judgmental question, but are you a nice chef, or you mean like, do you use like louder tones in your voice? Do you raise your voice? Because that's what I'm afraid of. If I got into a kitchen, I'm not afraid of it, but I'm expecting that there's going to be some sternness.
Yeah, yes and no. There's a moment, like there's definitely times where like you have to be stern.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a dick. You don't have to yell at people, but like inevitably if they're not doing their job, like you have to hold them to a certain standard. And there's a lot of people that don't like that because they've never been held accountable.
Yeah. Especially if it's your restaurant, it's your name on there. So if you see someone dumping a whole bunch of paprika in a dish that doesn't have paprika, you're gonna raise your voice probably, right?
I mean, like I definitely used to be more of a yeller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. I took over at Cerulean when I was 26. Like,
oh yeah,
and like you don't have the confidence in yourself to not project that kind of like puffed out chest. Like I need to enforce what I'm saying. But the older I get, like after Cerulean closed, I went up and helped run Cerulean in Warsaw.
Yeah.
And there was a very distinct moment I remember where I had to work the grill because no one else knew how to do it. And this is 2.5 hours away. I was living above the restaurant, so I'd literally like wake up, walk into the restaurant as like the first step of my day, and then the second I was done cleaning up, I'd go to bed. So, but it was a whole thing. And but I remember this moment where I was working grill. And I looked around and I was like, man, I am not only the only guy in the kitchen right now, I am the only person not in high school. And then I did some quick mental math. I was like, oh, every one of these ladies is closer to my daughter's age than my age. So like, you know, it changed my perspective so much on how I spoke to staff. And like, there's definitely been times where like I've felt pushed to my limit and I've definitely yelled, but I'll also, you know, if my voice raises, I will grab everybody and I will apologize to them one-on-one. And I will go through what I said and how I said it, why I was wrong. And like, I will own up for that because
that's awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think anybody expects everybody to be perfect all the time. It's more about the accountability of, you know, if you fuck up, own your own the responsibility, do the right thing.
Yeah.
And like try to make sure that people don't leave mad. Like people don't want to work for someone that they hate going to work for them because they know they're going to get yelled at. I know there's a couple chefs that I worked for that I fucking don't like at all because do
you have something like a specific memory? Because I have certain times I got yelled at that are just like seared into my brain forever.
Yeah, I mean there's a couple.
You don't have to say names, but do you remember like this specific?
If I want
and you
to.
can say
specific
names.
thing.
If they yell at you, they yell at you.
No, like I remember a chef. And actually, I think I talked about this the very first time I was ever on the show. Like, he pulled me aside. He got in my fucking face, and he said, "You know, pull your dick out of my ass and quit fucking me." And I was like, I was doing the best I could fucking do. And like, I just apparently wasn't good enough at that point. Or like he would, you know, compliment you, and this was like, yes, Chef Kitchen, and like you'd say, "Thank you, chef," and he'd be like, "I'm being facetious," like just like little shit like that, or like
that's really descriptive.
or like in front of the entire staff, like he would blame me for the linen bill, and it's like, so not to give too much away, but like
he's a famous chef, isn't he?
No, he's a local chef that may be on Indie Monthly's top 25 restaurant list this year.
Okay.
Only about half that list is out. You guys can do the math.
Let's go.
But like also like I also realized like that there was moments of trauma that happened in that job because of where I was at in my life.
Yeah.
And I've since, you know, I don't like the guy, but like I've also confronted him and been like, hey, I did not do my job as well as I should have been doing it at that point. And like that was less so for him and more so for me, just to move past that shit.
Was
so
he
like,
Michelin rated?
No.
So, and you are now?
No.
We got nominated, correct?
No.
James Beard.
Oh, James Beard.
Yeah, Beard.
Yeah. Was he James Beard nominated?
No.
So, in his face, 25 Indie Monthly. Seth, start writing about the good people.
Oh, you mean the alcoholic that doesn't do his job very well?
I didn't say that.
If you
You said that nobody knows who he is.
No, I didn't say that.
But I mean, like, also this was, I mean, it was a long time ago. It was what, 10 plus years ago.
Yeah. And look at you now. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I also, like, I guess I have also I definitely need to say this. Like, I've gained the perspective of, I know I have been that person for other people. So like, it's there's a little bit of that maturity that happens where it's like, oh, I have fucked up. I have pissed people off. I am the bad guy for other people. So like, I guess part of owning, again, trying to own my responsibility and who I was, and not letting it define who I'm going to be for the rest of my career or the rest of my life, is acknowledging that, you know, not everybody does things the right way. A lot of people go through different phases in life. I think I read something the other day about how, I think it was like every 5 years your brain has the capacity to change your personality. So like at 10 years, like he could be two different people by now.
Yeah.
But like that is my memory. It doesn't invalidate those things. And you know, I definitely have cooks that definitely have those things about me. So
yeah. I got a shame button for this guy right here. Hit the shame button as we're talking about this. Dyke, I don't know if you need to work on your communication skills. I tried here. This is what happened in my own house. I'm cooking, and Dyke comes behind my shoulder, and he says, "It hurts me when you cook." And I was like, "What do you mean? It hurts to watch you cook." And I realize I'm being dissed right now, but I don't know how. And I realized people need to change their vernacular, and Dyke's one of those guys. If you had a whole kitchen, I'm sure you would diss them.
No, I definitely did say that. I think there's sometimes you do have to step back and just go, oh, this person's just gonna do things their own way. But I do have to fight that natural reaction to mansplain things sometimes. Like, oh, that's not. But I think along the way, I'm sure somebody else would do. I'm sure you could come in, watch me cook, and feel the exact same way. You know, it's just like, well, why are you doing it that way? Like, that's not the best way to do it, or the most. That's not the best way I know to do that. So why would you do that way?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I think it's. I guess that actually goes back to the whole like chef as a teacher is like. Just because I know it doesn't, like, I don't assume you should know it.
Yeah.
Right before the podcast, we were talking, like, I taught culinary school for a couple years. And like one of the moments I remember the very most, besides the hundreds of eggs people tried to get me to eat one day, was we were doing terrines, and this girl had a terrine in the oven in what I thought was a water bath, because that's what the recipe said to do. And she's like, I don't think it's cooking. I was like, well, did you follow the recipe? She's like, yeah. And I check her oven, and there's a pan of ice in the oven. And I was like, why is there ice in the oven? And she's like, you know, I didn't know what an ice bath or I didn't know what a water bath was, but I knew what an ice bath was. And I was like, oh, I need to explain everything.
Break this down,
like not
to the
just because it's common sense to me does not mean it is not a revelation for someone else. So, like when you're explaining to Thad why he's doing things wrong.
Well, not even wrong, just different.
Well, you can practice it right now. Can you tell us what he was doing?
I don't remember.
That was wrong? Do you remember that?
I don't remember exactly what it was.
It was everything.
It was everything?
I think it was...
the whole process?
I think it was starting to cook with a cold skillet, which was like, and today, which was a good segue for, Zach did a lot of things today that I had some opinions about. He spilled a lot of eggs on the ground, which
we have pictures.
I spilled half of the eggs.
How many eggs are we talking about?
That makes it better. Yeah. I didn't spill all the eggs. I spilled half of the eggs.
Just enough to walk on. Enough to walk on all around the campfire.
Are we talking in a flat? Are we talking a case?
No, it was just like
there's probably 8 eggs in a skillet, and they all went on the ground after they were done.
There was only 5 of you? right?
Yeah.
So we had time to do it again with the other half of the eggs.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the brunch.
Let's talk about that technique. Why did you decide to still it on the ground?
Yes.
That is technique.
It is much harder if you just, as far as brunch goes, if you just throw half of it on the ground.
Well, then everybody watches you the second time, and they're like, God, I really hope I get some of those eggs, because it was not a guarantee the first time.
One, it looked like it was on purpose. Two, it was kind of like a magic trick, because we were all hungry. And like, oh, we're going to have to wait for those eggs again.
Yeah.
Because they're done.
They just got done, too. So it was like, oh, the eggs are done. And then,
I love that idea. Oh, you guys are hungry? Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. But now the eggs that we tasted afterwards was much better, because we were so hungry and we saw eggs go. We knew these could go on the ground. Like,
we appreciated those eggs.
To your eggs.
Man, I think I might worry that the eggs before tasted better.
I don't know.
I mean, everybody had the option of trying them. They were absolutely up for grabs.
So I guess we should start off by saying that we were the reason we were camping is because we were celebrating Sauce Boss Zach's bachelor party, because he's. Are you betrothed?
Yes.
Currently betrothed?
I guess that's what the wording is.
Yeah, betrothed.
Yeah.
And so we went. Thank you. Deserve that. And then we went to the. We went camping for a bachelor party. We had fun. It was a real Harder Brunch away game into the woods.
So much fun. And
had a blast. Had a lot of fun stories. Played some games. Cooked some. Are you familiar with? So my grandma always made camper stew every time we went camping, which was it was a quick, easy thing. It was just ground beef, tomato sauce, frozen vegetables. I think we jazzed it up with some hot sauce and some peppers and stuff, but like real basic thing that you could just throw over, heat it up, get it going, and slop it out. I think we made walking tacos out of it and stuff.
Yeah, because you took the opposite strategy. You made 5 gallons of camper stew.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So we each had our own personal gallon.
He saw how many people were there, too.
Yeah, and he's like, you know what? I got to cook all of it.
Well, truth be told, we had a lot bigger list originally, and those people started dropping off like flies. So we had a bunch of people that were originally going to come. I thought I was feeding more people.
Bridget was going to come.
Bridget was going to come. I think Alan Sternberg was going to come.
Oh, Alan was going to come.
I got sandbagged into working today.
Chris King. I feel like we should not leave Chris King out. He was going to come.
He was going to come.
Yeah. He had to go hang out with another friend because he's a good friend.
Was it his baby?
No, it was not his precious baby this time.
No baby excuses.
But yeah, so we did camper stew, and then the other thing that I did growing up a lot was like, do you ever make campfire pies when you go camping? Did you ever do that?
No.
Like with a pie iron?
Nope.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Are you familiar?
No.
You never heard pie iron before.
I feel like I've heard it, but I literally drawn a blank as far as what that is.
I never had.
So it's just a cast iron. The ones I grew up with were circular. They made like a true like pie shape. These were square.
Like a Dutch oven?
No, it's just like a little. It's like 2 clamps that you put down, and they make like a pie.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. I just didn't know that's
Alan,
what it was called.
Can you guess who made the best pie out of all of us?
No.
The guy that's smiling.
Oh, you?
No,
Yeah.
What kind of pie did you make?
You think you made the best pie?
You did not make the best
One,
pie.
I didn't make the best pie.
No.
Your guys' was burnt. You pieces of shit.
Was it a Rasta pasta pie?
Okay, I'm still on your side because we're trying to roast them.
All right,
I'm going to come back to roast you.
All right.
No, but Dyke tried 3 times to make a pie. This was his invention. Guess what? Mine wasn't burnt. Mine tastes delicious. I had chocolate in there. I had grape jelly
Yours
for some
wasn't
reason.
even cooked.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, yours was like fire kissed.
Did we get a picture of yours?
Hey, I'm just gonna say, as a chef, it's better to undercook than over because you can cook it a little bit more.
That's what I'm talking about, and I like it soft.
Well, I was doing.
So you lose it right there.
He said that many times.
Can you clip that for the fucking board?
But what I was doing a test kitchen, so we were testing it down to the minute to see where the burning was happening, and we brought it back. So like the 3rd one was great.
4th or 5th.
4th or 5th one was great. We really had to get it dialed in.
Hey, sometimes it takes that many times.
And sometimes you just do it right the first time, like I did.
You had a soft pie. We all knew. We all said it.
It was soft. It was buttery. It was scrumptious. Scrumptious. Is that a word? Scrumptious.
Yep, it is
scrumptious.
But it did make me brought up a thing that I want to do is I want to make a brick pizza oven outside, just like a cheap one that I've seen like on the internet. Yeah. Like just get some bricks and some paver stones and just do like a little.
I mean, I think it's actually more intense than that.
Yeah.
No, we can do it in an afternoon. It's not, I'm sure.
And after seeing you do it this weekend, I don't know if we need a brick oven on this property. I don't want to smell burnt pizza for the rest of my life.
It's better not inside.
Yeah. So that's going to be our fall project. Is a pizza oven.
You should put it in the studio here.
Just right there. Pizza oven in the studio.
Have a smoke everywhere. Yeah. We're just like, wow.
You can have your own like mid-show pie contest and really see who's got the best pie.
I'd have a pie off with you.
Yeah.
My dad and I, we actually built a brick oven, pizza oven
in Haiti.
In America.
Oh,
in Michigan?
No, that's not a bad guess. We could do it in Haiti as well.
That seems like a Haiti project. Like we're gonna build an oven for the people. I don't know.
I think it probably was. I think he was doing the test run in America. It's like if we could do this really well, we could build more brick ovens in Haiti. But we did it there, and we used propane as well. A lot of cement, a lot of bricks, and the pies taste great. So we would do a cauliflower pie. I don't know if a healthy pie, if you know what I'm talking about. People that don't want to have too much sugar, they'll do stuff like
cauliflower's full of sugar.
Is it seriously?
I mean, pretty much all vegetables break down to sugar.
I thought it was like a keto pizza.
The pizza's not keto.
It's gluten free.
Why would anybody do a cauliflower crust if it was full of sugar?
Sorry. Because I thought you just meant like as a topping on a regular pizza. I was like, that's not keto at all.
No, the crust was cauliflower.
Crust, yeah.
And a restaurant actually adopted that recipe that my dad did. So
it's keto.
So that's keto for sure.
Sure.
Why did you say it was full of sugar? I'm
like
surprised.
all vegetables break. Like you can caramelize it because the sugars caramelize.
I mean, there might be some. I don't know.
I guess I haven't looked at the sugar structures of cauliflower in a while, so I could be talking out my ass. But like, I feel like most vegetables when you cook them become sweet because it's all converting down to sugar.
Guys, we're gonna get to the bottom of this cauliflower pizza situation, but we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Gen Z can't stop raving about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Patreon.com/Harder Brunch slaps.
No cap, the Harder Brunch Podcast is bussin' on God.
Move over, Boomer. Gen Z's here to talk to you about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Harder Brunch Podcast on Patreon, $3 a month, low-key a steal.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass has me bricked up every day.
Listen to these all totally real testimonials.
No, like I'm getting paid to do this. Don't worry. Yeah. No, you think I do this for free? No.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass slaps.
Sound younger.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass slaps.
Just go to patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
The Patreon After Brunch Podcast hits different. That shit makes you feel shit.
Welcome back to the Harder Brunch Podcast. We were just in the middle of doing an agreement in the middle. Sternberg, you said you had some clarifications from the first half.
Yeah, you can shame me. That's fine. I Googled it. Apparently, cauliflower, low in sugar. It's keto friendly-ish. And the pizza oven. The picture in my head, very different than the picture that you showed me.
Yeah.
You can totally do that in your backyard for very cheap.
I will say this in your defense, you imagined me building something.
Yeah.
And so that's probably a red flag right there.
I did a pizza event at a farmer's farm in northern Indiana. Mm-hmm. And like he has this massive pizza oven. Like he was talking about like how they have all these Mason friends that came and built this thing. And like I was expecting like some kind of concrete involved and not just like a paver and like 6 bricks. like you showed me,
Yeah.
you can totally do that.
Yeah, you can heat up dough.
Yeah.
in it. That's all we're looking for.
All right, so I'll eat it on both those.
Yeah, and not to be petty, but can you just say Thad was right?
Thad was right.
Okay, thank you.
You hear that, Hardy Party?
Yeah,
Thad was right.
I think we're gonna have to put it out to the masses if we want to be Brunch Nation or if we want to be the Hardys. And I think you at home all know what the correct answer is.
Well, so
Hardy Nation.
So we vote.
Hardy Nation. It's the compromise.
Hardy Nation is even better.
The agreement in the middle.
Yeah, we already got like 3 votes for that.
We have 3 votes.
He's on his phone. You guys don't know shit.
Oh man,
he's connected.
We'll put it out on Instagram and we'll see. Do you have that clip lined up for me?
Absolutely.
Go ahead and drop that. Full volume. It's time for another edition of Chef to Chef. I feel like it's never loud. I have some questions for you, Chef Alan Sternberg. And
I'm 0 for 2 from the first half, so I don't know how well this is going to go.
This is just stuff I want you to speak on. I don't think there's any right and wrong answers here. This is just questions that I have for you.
Okay.
One, where to start? Have you watched the show The Bear, and do you have an opinion about it?
I've watched it twice. It was the first time was I watched it twice very quickly, like within a couple days of each other. Watched it with my wife the first time. It was a little bit traumatic, or it brought up a little bit of trauma for me for sure. For a couple weird reasons. The beard list that he is on for Rising Star, I'm on that list.
Oh.
Like that year, that category.
Ooh.
I was one of 28 in the country that can say that. Friends with 5 or 6 of them at this point. But also, like, when I got on that specific list, I was working in a restaurant that it was right after Cerulean Indie closed. I wasn't super happy with what I was doing. I felt just like drug all the way down. And so, like, it was bittersweet to be on that, because it was like, I was excited, but I wasn't with my team that did it. I wasn't able to actually, like, embrace that. So, like, that was a very, like, oh shit, like, I've lived this. I've done so many different jobs since Cerulean that, like, I'm just trying to get back to doing the food that I actually love doing.
Yeah.
And, like, I've cooked a lot of food in the last 5 years that is like, I'm doing a job. I'm not actually pouring myself into it the way I want. So, like, it was just kind of like, oh, like, I literally have felt being in those exact shoes.
Is it weird seeing a kind of fictionalized variant of yourself in kind of a way?
The thing I will agree with that I've seen a lot is it's the most accurate portrayal of what restaurant life is like. Obviously there's some drama that gets thrown in there to make it interesting to watch. But I did really like all the details in the show. Like, when he's in the office, like, you can actually see the books that are there. Like, I know Zuni Cafe is there, Judy Rogers' place, and there's a random silver spoon on his desk on top of papers, and it's like, those are things that, like, if I think it's Maddie Matheson that was the culinary talent on that show. Yeah, consultant. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. It was like, those little things are just like, okay, like, this actually kind of fills in that world for me, and it felt less just like a Hollywood production, like, say, Burnt, which is like horrible fucking representation of what being a chef is like. But it's just like, there was a lot of little nods to what restaurant life is like. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. The second time I watched it with my daughter, because I was like, hey, I know you have no idea what I go through and, like, what my life is actually like on the work end of things, but here's kind of a little snapshot of it. And, like, there's the one episode where, like, it's all chaotic, and, like, they get the
big order,
the online POS gets turned on before they were ready or whatnot, and, like, all the chaos, and just kind of like she was stressed out from that. I was like, yeah, like, I've been in those moments where it's just like, you're the only person that is going to help guide everyone else through. And like, if you have that reaction where you just turn to screaming and freaking out on everybody, like you kind of instinctively do a little bit, but like you have to reel it back in and help guide everyone through it. So like, there were definitely moments in that show that I enjoyed quite a bit. There's also ones that were just kind of brought up a lot of feelings and emotions. I know I've heard and seen chefs react completely both ways on the show, but I personally enjoyed it.
Nice. Octopuses, too smart to eat?
I think it's octopi. They're weird. Like, they are incredibly intelligent. They have evolved so differently than a lot of life forms on Earth. I know, or at least I believe I know, until I Google it later and figure out that cauliflower doesn't have much sugar in it. Is they don't have like a central brain. They have like 3 clusters that help their cognitive ability. So I think that's part of the argument about not eating octopus is, can you turn your fucking ringer off?
Yeah,
what the
going
fuck?
on?
At least
Hey.
he might be woke, but he is not fucking courteous.
He's woke now, but now he's rude.
But I think part of it is there's not a great way to tell if you are killing them in a way that is not pain inducing. So I think that's the bigger argument to me, because like pigs are super intelligent. I have no problem not killing pigs. I have no problem eating pigs. I have no problem serving pigs. I do think it's important that at some point in your career, you take the life of something that you cook, just so that you actually feel the actual weight of it.
That's good.
Lobster feels like a murder. You're definitely killing something.
Yeah, and like the very first time I ever killed a lobster, it was like, it was just one of those, like, I want to get it done. I want to make sure I do it right. It was in culinary school, like I think a lot of people. And there was another girl that came later on that like picked the knife up and like ended up like just like, she didn't do it right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna paint the picture. I'm not gonna make the Hardys all upset.
Hardy Nation.
I hate this so much.
Yeah.
Hardy Nation.
Yeah, that's only for Dyke. But yeah, she didn't do it right, and it was like the instructor, the chef, jumped in and it's like just immediately like, I'm gonna make sure this thing doesn't suffer. So I think that's what it is. It's about having respect. It's the same as a lot of things in food. It's having respect and understanding that like that is a life. That is, there is a whole ecosystem that it revolves around these things. There is a whole an industry to get it to your doorstep. You are the final step in it. You are the guest facing or the public facing end of that. But I have no problem cooking octopus. I use it quite a bit. I do understand that there's concern about if they feel. But I guess I'm also of the opinion that it's absolutely delicious. And the reason I fucked up about the cauliflower is I'm not a dietitian. I'm not into policy around animal rights. I want to do my best. I want to know as much as I can, but my job is to make delicious food. It's not to save the world. Like, that's a job for government. That's not for what I do. I don't get paid well enough to save the world.
When we talked at the beginning, you mentioned something about, we were talking about my culinary books, and you were like, those are all outdated.
Yeah.
Food has changed, and it has completely.
Yeah.
Specifically in the last 10 years. I guess what would you say, where are we at now as far as like the food trends? How has it changed in the past decade?
I'm going to go a little bit further back. I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. So for those that don't come from the food world, until around the 70s, you might argue late 60s, chefs were not prominent figures at all. It was the maitre d'. It was the the maitre d's were the owners. They were the ones that were curating the whole event of dining. Chefs started to come into a little bit more prominence. You definitely have the early, at least on the American side, you have the early rock star chefs like Wolfgang Puck and Alice Waters and Jonathan Waxman. There's plenty. But then that's when that actually started to like, oh, these people are that's when like becoming a chef actually became something that you could do and actually make it, if you would. It was a very blue collar job before that. It still is.
Yeah.
And then as you get into the 90s, you have the popularity of the Food Network. I think, very much the idea of fine cuisine was very much European centric for a very long time in this country. I'm not going to get into that too much, but you have this like elevation of fine dining. You have people like Thomas Keller that really rose to kind of celebrity status. And then you have the fall of the housing market in 2008. And I think a lot of chefs left fine dining to go to gastropubs and bistros and like more accessible food. It was a lower price point, but they all came from this like really regimented fine cooking style. So like it became more accessible to eat well. I think early ones in town, our bistro on the north end of Mass Ave, Mike over at Black Market when he opened that originally, Ryan up at Late Harvest Kitchen, and Neil for Pizzology up on the north side too. But you started to see like this democratization. I can't say it. I've been drinking. But you see this this web of more people being able to eat better food. And when did you go to school?
2010.
Okay, that's about when I went to school. And so much of it was still like professional trade secrets, and you had to learn French cuisine. You had to learn, or not French cuisine, but French technique.
Yeah.
I think one of the most misunderstood things about French food is it's Italian food, but the French kind of regulated everything. They created a lot of the systems, but like a lot of the rise of French haute cuisine actually came from Italian chefs coming into the French nobility. Anyways, but after 2008, you see this kind of like this access to good food. But like culinary school is just kind of behind, because it has to teach a curriculum. Curriculums don't change historically very fast. So like you are taught a lot of outdated things, but it also, like, I gained a lot out of culinary school. I'd already been working in the industry for 4 or 5 years at that point. So like I kind of knew the actual like rigmarole of what service is like. It wasn't just, oh, I need to learn my mother's sauces. So like I got a lot more out of it because I had practical knowledge prior to. When you go to culinary school, you're going to teach you the basics, the foundations. It's, going back to the pizza oven. If you don't know how to lay a brick, then you can't build a pizza oven. So like it's teaching you those things. It's teaching you how to be a competent person inside a restaurant. It's the chef's job, again, going back to teaching as a chef, it's their job to teach you their philosophies. It's their job to teach you the learned things they have gained and accumulated throughout their career to actually make you a better cook. Like I always tell cooks, this is not culinary school. I am paying you to be here. There's a job that needs done. That doesn't mean that I don't want you to learn. Doesn't mean I don't want you to grow. Because if you walk out and you don't know anything better than when you came in, like what was the point?
Yeah.
I had a rule at Sterling, like we never repeated a dish. The dish might be very similar. It might be inspired from something a year ago, but if we didn't learn something within a year, like what were we doing? And I feel like a lot of the last couple jobs I've had, it's been trying to catch people or get people kind of caught up and like just never really finding that exact same rhythm. And like, that's kind of what I'm searching for right now in my career, in my life. It is like-minded people that want to challenge each other. At Sterling, I worked with a great pastry chef that we are very like-minded. We challenge each other all the time. Shout out Pete Schmuddy at Leviathan. They do really good stuff if you guys haven't checked them out. But yeah, as far as the books, it's they're teaching you the very basics, because everyone's going to have a different opinion. You know, going back to your shame earlier, like, you know, he knows something you don't. So like, he's going to express, oh, I know this way to do this thing. But like
by hurting your feelings.
Yeah. But there's, yeah, Dyke, why'd you hurt his feelings?
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to hurt your feelings anymore. We do have a game. We do have a game here that we want to play. Go ahead and drop that game show music. Alan Sternberg, welcome to the dating game.
Oh shit!
You're gonna be our eligible bachelor, and you're gonna pick between three different suitors. And so I have a question here for you. Read that first question. It's gonna be suitor number 1, suitor number 2, and suitor number 3, and they're each gonna be asked the same question. So that first one on there.
Wait, which one?
Looking.
All right. Looking for in a man. I don't know if that's a question.
What are, if you have to put it in the form of a question.
Right, sorry. All right. What are looking for in a man? All right. What am I looking for in a man?
Suitor number 1.
Where would you take me on a first date?
Suitor number 1 is getting that answer.
Yep.
Where would you take me on the first date?
Suitor number 1 is, yeah.
Hey, it's Rocky. Hey. Oh, I'm not supposed to say my name.
It's Rocky Balboa.
Hey, but I'm Rocky Balboa. Put him up.
Yeah, usually Rocky, we don't reveal who we are until the end of the game.
Hey, you know who it is.
No one could mistake you.
You know who it is. My name comes out and it's like a punch, close hand fist. Hey.
The Boston Stallion.
Boston Stallion. You know I'm from Boston.
Where would you take, Rocky, where would you take Chef Alan Sternberg on a first date to really impress him?
Honestly, you know, if it's guy to guy, I'm going to go to a ring. We're going to put some fist up, some closed fist, and he's going to say, hey, do you want to put some protection on? And I'm going to be like, yeah, let's put some protection on. So we put our gloves over our hands and we start boxing, going back.
Oh, so you're going to beat him up on your first date?
I'm going to take it easy on him.
Okay.
I'm a gentleman.
I mean, at least I know where I stand. If you beat me up on the first fucking date, I know what I'm in for, right?
I'm not that type of guy. Hey.
Bachelor number 2, same question. Where would you take? Please don't reveal who you are exactly quite yet. Bachelor number 2, but where would you take Chef Alan Sternberg on a first date?
I will tell you this right now. You ready? Here I come. So, hey, it's Rocky again. I snuck in. I know it's not my turn, but I'm just gonna jump in and say I really want to win this game. The last fight I had was terrible.
Yeah,
blood on the nose.
Blood in the nose.
But I'll let my friend Rodney Dangerfield.
Rocky, you're not supposed to tell the other suitors.
I keep telling the people who it is.
It's all right.
I'm messing up. Hey, I've got hit in the head so many times.
The CTE
with closed fists, no gloves. All right, here we go. Rodney, you go ahead. Oh, I did it again. Hey, you know where I'd take you on a date? I'd take you to my wife's work so we can beat up the man she's sleeping with. She keeps on cheating on me. No respect. No respect.
All right. So your options so far, Alan, are to go boxing or to the place where his wife's cheating on him with. Bachelor number 3, same question.
You know, I'm actually not here for the game per se.
Oh.
I'm investigating a murder.
A murder?
A murder.
You are saying murder, right?
Yes, murder. Okay. Same thing as you were saying.
Or a martyr.
Amada.
All right. Got it that time.
Well, where would you want me to take you? Let me ask that question. Do you mind?
God, that's such a guy answer. What do you want to do for your birthday?
Yeah. Tables have turned.
Yeah. I don't fucking know.
That's funny.
You gonna woo me?
When I used to date my wife, she wanted to know where she wanted to go. Very interesting. Very interesting. But one more thing. Would you like to go go-kart racing?
Maybe.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm not a judge. All right. That was great. The second question for suitor number 1.
If you were me for a day, if you were me, what would you do for a day?
Hey, you know what I'd do for a day if I was you? I would go buy a whole bunch of chickens. I'm talking about the live chickens. All right? And you're going to be tempted to eat the eggs. You don't want to eat the eggs. What you're going to do is you let them loose and you run around, get some cardio. That's what I'd do if I was you.
So chasing cock.
You're never going to...
Got it.
If you put it that way, you won't be a pervert about it. Hey, my fucking kid's here.
Yeah, your kids are going to listen to this podcast.
My kid's going to listen to this podcast. You can't say shit like that. We don't cuss.
I apologize, bachelor number 1. Bachelor number 2, same question.
Hey. I know it's not actually my turn, but I wanted to say one more thing.
I love that you have to do that to get it in the fucking...
I brought up one thing. I brought up one thing about eggs. Have you ever had 40 eggs? I want to date nobody that hasn't had 40 eggs. It makes you hallucinate.
What was it, 23 and 26?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when the trouble happens.
Yeah.
That's when the trouble happens.
So 40 doesn't.
No, you get 40, you're good.
Well, let's ask this. Have you hit 23 eggs?
Fuck yeah, I have fucking eaten 23 eggs.
Hey.
Who hasn't fucking eaten 23 eggs?
You got a little bit crazy.
Maybe we just skip over to bachelor number 3.
Hey, this guy keeps butting in. A lot like the other men with my wife. No respect. No respect. The other day I asked my wife, do you still love me? She said, yes, I love that you let me cheat on you. I said, that's disrespectful.
That is not respectful.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing? Didn't really answer the question, but that's okay. Bachelor number 3, same question.
You know what I'd do if I was you? I'd get myself a lawyer and say, I'm guilty. How do I get myself out of it? Because you look like a murder suspect.
Oh. I don't know what you want to do with that one, Alan, but...
one more thing.
Oh, no.
Where were you the night of the insurrection?
I think it was a morning issue.
It was.
I think by the night it was like pretty much quelled. I was at work watching it on TV. Where were you, Columbo?
I was there getting evidence. So it looks like we have something in common.
I was at work and you were at work, I guess, at the insurrection.
And it's funny. Good sir, I didn't mean to take up your time. But let me ask you something. My wife, she used to go to insurrections herself. Big Trump fan. Okay, huge. And she saw a guy that looked just like you. She actually took a picture and said, look at Alan Sternberg. And I said, oh, my wife, I think you just figured this case out for me. I was so lost on this case. Anyways.
Yeah, there's a lot of wife talk for this Bachelor show. Third question for...
the third question wasn't on there. It was just 3 people that thought I was going to do.
Oh.
It was just the answers.
Who's this Thad guy?
He's a really funny comedian here in Indianapolis.
Oh, no, the first question was...
that likes it soft, apparently.
The first question for Bachelor number 1 was, what are you looking for in a man? Bachelor number 1, what are you looking for in a man?
What are you looking for in a man?
I'm looking
I feel like I got to say it.
Hey, you know who this is? Rocky Balboa from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Creed, and then I've got another one coming out. Anyways, what I'm looking for, man, I'm looking for him to be strong and not take crap from no one. All right?
Yeah.
When life comes at you, you got hit in the face. You're better than this. You're better than this. You're better than this, Alan Sternberg.
I don't know if I am.
All right? I raised you to I remember when you were this big in my arms. You're this big. In my hand, I held you, Alan Sternberg, in my fist, my closed fist.
You held me.
Life's not all butterflies and rainbows, kid. Listen, life's not all butterflies and rainbows. Sometimes love just hits you in the face and says, you're in love.
Sometimes it's love, sometimes it's your right hook.
Me and you are going to make love like a chef in a box away.
I'm ready.
And everybody knows what that looks like.
Yeah, what?
There's a category for it.
Chef and boxer love. Bachelor number 2. Bachelor number 2, are you right there?
Hey.
You keep interrupting, Rocky. I just
want to know what you thought about my speech.
That was great.
I thought it was a good speech.
It was inspiring. Yeah.
I was moved. I was totally fucking moved.
I've been on this show. I can kind of do whatever I want.
I think you're gonna get a lot of people to Google chef and boxer love at the end of this.
Hey, Zach, you've been here before.
Yeah, no, I've been here for most of them.
Hey, I heard you're getting married.
That's right, Rocky.
Yeah. Are you going to have a honeymoon?
Yeah, probably.
What are you going to do on your honeymoon?
Well, I mean,
going to give it a smooch?
I mean, this is a kid-friendly show, so I don't want to.
Yeah, your kid's here.
Yeah, get your kids here.
My kids here at this place. Oh gosh, you about got me. Anyways, hey, give them a round of applause for getting married.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let my friend Columbo jump in.
I mean, it wasn't his turn, but yeah,
he wants to go. He has his hand.
Okay.
I saw his hand up.
All right.
You know what type of man I'm looking for?
What kind of man, Columbo?
I'm looking for a man that's honest. And one more thing. I'm looking for a man that murdered somebody. You know what murder is? Chef?
I do know what murder is.
You're used to a knife.
Yep.
It's funny. There was a knife in the murder victim. And what type of knives did you say you use? What's your favorite?
A good chef's not going to leave their fucking knife behind. It costs too much money.
That's what I thought. But you're not a good chef in my book. Because a good chef wouldn't kill an innocent man in cold blood.
Fuck, he got
for
me.
no reason. There was no reason. We looked over the case. There was no reason for you to kill this man. You had no relationship. So I don't think you're a good man. He's not the guy. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Bachelor number 2. Did you get anything?
Hey, I'm just looking for a guy that won't sleep with my wife. You know, my wife came up to me the other day and she said, I like sleeping with other men. I said, no respect.
She just put it on Front Street like that.
Yeah, I said, do you want a divorce? She said, I like your money. I was like, oh, shoot. That's what I said. I said, shoot. No respect.
Chef Alan Sternberg, you have your pick of Bachelor number 1, Bachelor number 2, and Bachelor number 3. Who wins a date with you in the dating game?
I think this might surprise some people. I think it's going to be Columbo. He's clearly looking for a fucking adventure. Dangerfield's way too fucking honest. And fucking Rocky's just, he's going to fucking love me with a closed fist.
Well, it looks like, guys, Columbo has solved the case of love.
Hey, it looks like I won. And everybody got out of here scotch-free.
Yeah.
But one more thing.
Oh, no.
You like the BMX, don't you? My wife, she used to BMX. She's one of the best BMXers. And she said that you did it.
What?
You
BMX didn't exist when Columbo's fucking wife was there.
Case closed. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, guys. Give it up for all three of our guests that we've seen here today. Man, if you want to see more of that, get on our Patreon. It was wonderful. Can you drop a beat for me there, Sauce Boss? Chef Alan Sternberg, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with us today. Where can people find you and follow you on social media?
Instagram is the best place. Alan_Sternberg. I haven't been posting as much recently, but that's probably about to change. So
you can see him do sick jumps on his Instagram.
Yeah. It's a little peek into my life for sure.
Sauce Boss Zach.
You can find me at Zach_Roan on all social media.
Thaddeus J, welcome back to the studio.
Hey, thank you. That was fun.
Yeah.
To watch in the background.
But, thank you.
It was so nice to see you and Rocky in the studio together at the same time.
You know that it doesn't usually happen, but I saw him like we got to talk before because he came here early this time. But anyways, you can find me at Thad McKee. That's at Thad McKee on Twitter, Instagram, and I'm just going to say Facebook, even though that's not true.
I'm at Dyke Michaels on all social media. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Harder Brunch. Like we said, we have a fantastic episode with comedian Mo Mitchell coming out this week, and then we also have our crossover swapcast with Nerd News.
Busy.
Very excited stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.